Well, hello everyone. This is Julie from the Scraps of My Life. I always pause there because I'm trying to think, what am I supposed to say next? My brain has not kicked in with my mouth, obviously, and I don't do as well in speaking, it seems like, as I used to. Nonetheless, I was informed over the weekend that someone was looking for my next video about my watercolor journey here, my new expedition or whatever you want to call it towards watercolor, and they had not heard from me. So I thought I felt a little bit compelled to do a video right away today before I went to throwing paper and tape and glue around. As I said in my last video, I think I did anyway, while I was waiting on all my art supplies to come in because I had to order practically everything that I got. I was working on a Christmas journal and I was trying to look around and see it, but I don't think that's what you want to see anyway. But that's the mess up there at the top that you see, and that's all scattered around. Anyway, I'm here to update you on my watercolor progress. So, the reason I have not done a video before now, as I said, I was waiting for my supplies to all come in. And as well as I've been sick, under the weather, very much so. And then I also have had company in and out. And so it's hard for me to put my mind into what I'm doing here when all that's going on. So that is why. That's the reason I have not done an update video yet. And that is the reason I have not actually really put paint to paper yet. However, I have scarcely done a tiny bit of sketching, which you'll see as I go through a couple of these books. When I last spoke to you, I was working on my watercolor journal. And I think I did a scan over, if that's what you want to call it, of what I had so far. And I did complete that, except for the cover. And I can't complete the cover until I'm inspired to put something on it. So I don't know what I want on the cover yet. However, I'll very quickly go through this book, and I'm going to show you because, you know, in case someone is kind of struggling with theirs or whatever, I don't know. I'm just sharing what I have here. So I did reinforce this with tape, the shiny tape, whatever it's called. I keep wanting to say the word masking because, you know, I've been listening to a lot of watercolor videos and they use a lot of masking tape to hold their canvases down, their paper down to the board to paint on, and that word is stuck in my brain. But anyway, to reinforce it, so I did the width of it. And so, you know, normally I reinforce it with more of this, and I didn't do this one that way because I didn't put a gusset on this one. I just did, I probably should have done a gusset, but I did not, and I just folded it. So for that reason, I used the tape. Okay, so this was my cover. You know, it inspired me. I put it in here. And, you know, I've already started journaling in here. Well, not journaling, making notes. And a little journaling. Some little things I've come across. Like right here, I put been feeling interrupted and intimidated in my watercolor journey. So I am making use of this. This is being very helpful to me. Now, it might not be helpful to you, but it helps me to express my feelings, even if it's on paper. And actually, I express myself very, very much so better more on paper, as you can tell by my getting tongue-tied right here, than I do in words anymore. So, and then when I put something like that down, I wrote that down quickly here because I wanted to put it in here. And I have started doing that. It might be helpful to those of you who are intimidated by writing. You know, you don't like your writing, you start to write something on your journal. It's not about our writing as much as it is what we write when we go to writing, and then we can't erase the ink. Even though they do have ink erasers, but who wants to do that? So I write it on a scrap piece of paper. That's what this is. This is a scrap piece of paper. And then, you know, if even it's just a thought, and then when I go to write it, I have thought it through and I'm ready to write. And so I've got that there that I just read to you, and I added to that, let's see, I'm trying to see, in my watercolor journey, and then I put over the past week, I think I should have stuck with my usual, and then I write on the back of it, created my journal both for writing and my art together, because this seems to flow much easier for me. So like I had mentioned before in another video that I did when I did my sketches and my drawings, I draw and I also did a lot of writing on the same pages even, and made notes, and that works for me. And me trying to put a journal here and an art book somewhere else, well, it's best. It really is, for lots of reasons. Because for one thing, you might want to show somebody your art, but you don't really want to have them to see your notes. But this is therapeutic. This is working. This is getting easier for me. I'm trying to say, please excuse all my stumbling of my words, because I've been under a lot of stress lately, and like I said, not well. So please forgive me and bear with me if you can. I won't disappoint. I won't take your time just to take your time. So please be patient with me. This is a little birdie that I was sitting here and I couldn't get anywhere with anything. So I sit here and sketched a little birdie. He's a little sad looking, bless his heart. Looks like he's between a chicken and a bird almost, but I was just doodling. But yet I still dated it, and I still put the colors down that I thought about doing it in. So that's really, I think, all the sketching I've done in this book. Most what I've done in here is writing. And some important things to me, like paint what you know until you can paint what you love, you know, stuff that's important, things that mean something to me. That's what this book is for. And then I've began to make note pages. This is for classes that I'm watching. I joined a class online, and this is the beginning of it. I've been sick and have not been able to take the class yet, but I'm anxious to do so. It's an online class, and it's perpetual. You can take it at any time. So, yeah, and I've got some ideas here I've written down and stuck in here about practicing. Things that I can practice. I did the alphabet. I was inspired by something I saw in a book, and I wrote the alphabet. And so, because I get easily, I'm not going to use the word bored, but repetition bores me. And so I saw something in a book. Like I said, I don't remember right now. I wasn't prepared to pull that out, but I called it drawing by the letter. Maybe this will help you, so I'll share this part with you, and I won't stay any further in this book. We'll go through this another day, I guess. But this may help someone, because practice, after listening to all the videos that I have listened to, and the painters, watching them, listening to them, some of them talk with their painting, some of them just paint with music, but I've learned that repetition is very important for honing and perfecting anything. You know, it doesn't matter whether, I know, I should know that, right? And I do know that, but sometimes we need to be reminded. So I thought, you know, practice. Oh gosh, just that word alone, just like, oh, everybody goes, oh, you know. Everybody hates practice because we want it now. We want it, you know, we want to know how to do it yesterday. So I got this idea, um, drawing by the letter, and I wrote the alphabet out on this. I love this paper. It's so expensive, but I love it. It's so easy to write on. And I wrote out every single letter except for X. I didn't write X out, but it's in my mind. So if I come across something with an X, but so my idea is to use beginner, intermediate, and advanced objects to increase my drawing skills, okay? And then to be specific, okay? Reminding myself to be specific. So up here on A, I put acorn. Now, that probably is, that, that could be beginner or that could be intermediate. And then balloon, book, bench. I figured actually a book is probably easier to do than a balloon. I mean, it's just individual, I think. I also put banner. I put a candle. These are things that I love. These are objects that I like. I like how they look, and I like their shape and their form, and what I see in my mind when I think of them. That is why I put these. These are things that inspire me. A door for D, evergreen for E. Now, of course, evergreen might be a little intermediate to advanced for me. I don't know yet. I've not tried that yet. I love drawing trees. I love drawing Christmas trees. I have drawn them forever, since I was a kid even. So I love trees, but I put an evergreen. I didn't put just tree. Tree, you know the movie. But I won't go there. But I put an evergreen. So evergreen is a challenge for me because there's so much to them. I mean, there can be, and you can, anyway, won't carry on with that. Feather. And you'll see in my book, I'm going to show you that I started a feather. And then grass. Grass is a challenge, yes. And I didn't sit here and think of every letter when I did this. I just put down some things. Windows. I love old windows, the old glass wood pane windows. With the shutters and whatnot. There goes oh my God, oh, okay, all right. All right, I thought I was talking and not recording. Yes, I am. Okay, so anyway, so down here I've got snowman, shutters, shells, and umbrella is under U, windows under W. So anyway, if I've made any sense with this, what I'm saying is I made the whole alphabet. I put it on a folded paper. And this is my practice. And these are things that I think of when I'm inspired, when I'm not sick and I'm not overwhelmed with family and I'm not overwhelmed with life, and I'm sitting and it's me and my thoughts and something comes to mind, and I really don't have time to sketch it, paint it, draw it, but I can write it right here. And I can come back when I'm feeling depleted and I'm feeling like I have no inspiration, but I need to do this. I need to practice. And they say that you need to do it every day. Of course, we all know that's true. And I can come to this piece of paper right here in my art journal, and I can find something to inspire me, because these already inspire me. These are the things that I want to practice with. So I thought I would share that. And I've got a note page for mixing colors, and here's another practice. And I was trying to do the, yeah, that didn't turn out so great. Still working on that. I mean, it's good. It's all good. Some steps that I need to take, mixing colors. Of course, that is the most important thing you can do with paint in the beginning, or I guess with anything. I've got a page in here, some videos. I wanted to show you that. And let's see, make sure there's nothing else in here that I wanted to point out that might be helpful to someone. I think that's it for now in here. So like I said, I'm not going to linger in this book. This here's another list that I did, similar to the ABC one, except it's a little bit more involved. And instead of using the alphabet, I I did like things like in the garden and architecture and in, objects with wheels and that move rather. I did it in categories on that one. So that was before I did the ABC thing. So they're both very helpful, and they will be helpful on days when you really don't feel like, when I really don't feel like practicing. That's my journal, and I'm already loving it. I really am. And when I'm inspired enough, I'm going to find a cover for it. Now this one came from, I had ordered some paper, and I didn't bring that over here because I can just tell you what that is. If you've watched any watercolor videos at all, you'll know that the paper I purchased to use, goodness gracious, I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, it's the 100% cotton, the nice paper. I spent the money. I got the hot press, I got the cold press, and so I already had that. That was one of the first things I received was the paper. And but then I ordered some more paper because I did like a lot of like a lot of us do. We get the nicer things, but then we're afraid to use them because they cost so much money. So I had been listening to Steve and let's see, Marty. Steve is the Mind of Watercolor on YouTube, and Marty is Owings Art. And even though they both do watercolor, Marty has a little bit different background. A little different. He kind of stuck to his roots. He loves color pencils, and so that's right down my alley because I love the pencil. I love the drawing, and so he had suggested the B Paper Company, and it is a lesser expensive paper. But he said it is really nice paper, and personally, I love the size of this book. Now they come in all kind of sizes. This paper comes in all kind of sizes in the books, and I don't want to say that they're all spiral. I don't know for sure because I have looked at so much stuff. Okay, trying to figure out what is best for me and best for my budget, and so these are the things that I've ended up with. Okay, so I can't speak for every item they have, and I did get I think most of this off of Amazon. So what happened was, this is the 9x9, and it is depleted somewhat, as you'll be able to see if I open it. There's nothing in it yet, but when I received it soiled and damaged on the corner here, and that's not what you want to see when you're starting out a sketchbook, right? And it was just thrown into a box and sent to me, and it was worse than what I just showed you, but I cleaned as much off as I could, but it still damaged the corner of the papers, and dirt is on the corners of each page. So they sent me another one to replace it. So I took the paper out of this one, and I made me what I call a portable sketchbook. And so this is 150 GM, and this is 93-pound paper. But this Marty informed me, per his video, that this is very good paper to learn on. So it won't take a lot of layering and more and more and more and more. It won't take a lot of wear and tear, but it takes quite a lot according to what he said. So I trusted his review and I bought it. And then so I wanted to have a smaller, but not so small, not a little tiny, it's not a field size, but I wanted this is actually a more like a Midori size sketchbook. And rather than just order one, I said, well, since I had the paper there, it's actually less than 9 inches by 9 inches in reality. I made me a sketchbook out of it, and I used my covers I like to use with the file folders. I have not glued this down yet because I was thinking about decoupaging this paper so that if I drip any water on here when I'm actually painting in this book, it won't actually buckle up. And because I have this here to show you, this is the one I started, and I love this image from one of the magazines. And I'm not throwing it out. And I was going to go ahead and try to decorate it anyway, even though when I use my watercolor here on the edge, those kois, it roughed up the paper extremely bad just putting the color in the water on there. So I'm just going to, at the time I was a little frustrated and I didn't feel like fooling with it, but I am going to repair this, fix it, and make another little journal because I'm sure I'll need another one down the road, because I just love this image. And it says, "I carry you with me" right here. I just love the bird and everything. So I wanted to show you that. File folders are not made for water, so don't forget that. But they do take decoupage well. So what I'm going to do is decoupage that. And I did put that tape. I declare I'm so sorry. My brain is just blank about the name of that tape. I did put that here under this paper to protect the spine as well, because I did notice in a lot of the videos, I know I'm saying a lot, but yep, here it is. I did notice in quite a few videos I watched of people showing their sketchbooks that their sketchbooks came apart at the spine from the water. And so I didn't think of that when I put this tape down. The reason I put the tape down was to reinforce it, because I did do a double layer here on this one with the file folder. I just thought, it would be opening and closing quite a lot, this being a sketchbook. And I did put like, I think 15 sheets of paper in here, and then times 4, that's a lot, 50 some pages. So, I figured I'd be using a lot, but then after I thought about that, I thought, that's great because that will secure this. And I could have put it on the outside, but I did not. I just put it on the inside and then covered it with the paper. In the middle here, I did add a little color over the page, the center section, the center signature, just birds and flowers, my thing. And then here is my feather I started and some leaves. Now, these are whimsical, obviously. This inspired the feather, and I love the fact that they did the patterns on the feather. So, I was, in case that I lost this, I kind of quickly roughed it in here really quick and even threw a little color in there. And down here, I had seen some leaves with patterns on them cut out and then made into something for a collage piece, and I really like that idea. So I tossed that down here. I know it's really not for watercolor. This I did with my pencil, but I just wanted to make that note real quick. I mean, I'd already done the feather, so I said, why not, So anyway, that's my little portable. It's got 3 signatures in it because the paper is so heavy. I did use that paper I just showed you in there. This is the beta series, the Stillman and Burn. They did have a few of these at Hobby Lobby. This takes dry and wet media, watercolor, and ink. And let's see, what pound is this? This is a 270 GSM. No, wait, I'm sorry. The beta is, yes, 270. It is the extra heavyweight. So it's a white cold press. And so each one, the Alpha, Delta, they all do different things. So I got this one, and it is heavy, and this is for some, this will take it all. This will take whatever I throw out to it. It is stitched in with thread, nylon, I assume, and it's not going anywhere. And there it is, and it's a soft cover, but the paper is heavy as can be, and there are 26 sheets, so not a lot, but enough to do some serious painting in. So I picked that one up, and then this was my first one I picked up. I wanted to show this because someone was interested in the mixed media. This was the very first one I picked up when I picked up the koi watercolors, and I have that. It's the 90 pound. And it's fairly heavy, and it's the rough texture. So that's going to be, I've been trying to do a little bit of stuff with it. I pulled out a sheet of the paper and did some pencil, stuff on here. I think it'll be cool. So yeah, I was just piddling to see how it took the what are these called? The Prisma? No, I'm sorry. The Faber-Castell Polychromos. Okay, takes it really well. I mean, these pencils are amazing. I ordered. I had a few of them, and I've also been studying pencils because what happened. Maybe I'll share that another time. Nonetheless, I ordered some pencils, and they should be here this week, and I can't wait to get them. I am so excited about them as much as the watercolor. Okay, books. I had ordered some books. Oh, well, I'll show you that another time, I guess. I did get a palette. I was going to show you my palette. I wanted to real quickly go over the books really fast, and then I'll shut this video down. It's been on 25 minutes, so I don't want to bore anybody to death. But real quick, I got the Watercolor School, this book right here. Now, I really haven't spent any time in this one back here. This book arrived folded in half. You can see how, if you can see, I guess, how damaged it is. I mean, it wouldn't even lay flat when I first got it. So yeah, I was really furious with Amazon. It was actually more my mail carrier, but they should have packaged it differently. But anyway, doesn't matter. This is Mastering Watercolors. I've not spent any time in this book yet. When I received it, everything went upside down, topsy-turvy. But I can't give a review on this book, but I will later. Okay, so I got that one. Watercolor School, Simple Practical. Okay, this is a simple book, but some very practical things that we will need to know. Lifting out color, different ways to do it. When we are doing adding wax resist. I mean, this is a great book. I've flipped through this a couple times, read some of it. A good book, a good basic beginning book. Love it, and going back to it again. If you love florals. Now, also, one more time, again, in my video watching on YouTube and in the class that some people who actually, there is a lady, oh my goodness, I just found her last night. I will have to put her name under this video. She actually does classes. Now, she does pencil, but she also, she's mainly a pencil artist, but she does do some painting. So what I was about to say, in watching videos, most everyone that suggests starting it, and she did too, that's why my mind went to her, even in pencil art, they suggest flowers, starting with flowers for simplicity. They say don't start with this, don't start with that, start with flowers. Flowers are easy, the colors are easy. So I bought this book. I bought it as soon as I saw it. Actually, I've had it for a couple weeks, but love this book. It is very detailed. It talks about the sketches, a brush sketch. It goes in depth to underdrawing. And I also found out that the drawing is very important. Some people say, well, no, I don't. Sometimes I draw, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I sketch, sometimes I don't. Well, in the beginning, it is best that you do, according to the more mastered artists that I've listened to, the ones who teach classes and the ones who do amazing, amazing depth of work. They suggest it. They say, whatever you've got on that paper to start with, that's what you're going to end up with. If you don't have a good laid down drawing of what you're doing. Now, this is not true for everyone, okay? Some people just have it. They have that gift, and they can just, they might be a Van Gogh or, you know, but I'm not. I'm not a Van Gogh, and I know that. So, I have been learning. And I can't do it right if I can't learn it right. So that's what I'm trying to do. And anyway, this little book is a wealth. I mean, it is a wealth of information. A wealth of information. I can't explain to you. And back here in the back, even now, I'm a visual learner. So that's why this is great for me. I mean, not only do they write the steps, they show you some of the steps. This is kind of like what it looks like. And even though it's a smaller book and it's small, it's enough. It is informative enough to give you the idea of where you're headed and where you're starting and where you're going and in between. And these paintings are by different artists. They're not all by the same artist. This person has okay, whatever the word is, has got together and pulled together different artists' work, and that's what you see. And she gives credit for each artist in here. There's loose art, there's detailed art, there's I can't express to you how helpful this book is. And whether you're doing watercolor or whether you're doing pencil, either one, the colors are still the colors, and they lay down similarly. It's amazing how much they overlap, the different areas of art, no matter what kind of paint or pencil or whatever it is. It's amazing how much it's all about color. That's what it's about. And if you use the color correctly, there's a technique with every one. There's a technique with each medium, but it's all about the color and where you put it and how much of it and the shading and the shadows, and it's all the same basics, but each medium, I mean, even with watercolor, you don't want sharp edges. Well, in your pencil, you don't want sharp edges. So this is going to be kind of an overlapping thing, because I've learned that the thing I love, pencils, I can use it in watercoloring, and I am just ecstatic about it. And I found that out when I was making this little travel journal I did. It dawned on me. And then I found that lady yesterday, and she mixed, well, she's not the only one. I really didn't pan any mine, but this paper was so had a faded look, and you couldn't see the birds without really looking, and you couldn't see the butterfly, and you couldn't see, it was kind of like all blasé. Everything was the same shade, And so I sit here, I was on the phone talking with my mom. I pulled out my gold jelly marker over there, glitter pen, and I was actually going to do some highlighting with it. And then it was really bright, and I said, "Whoa, I can't do that everywhere." So then I had a couple of colored pencils sitting over here. I had these two, and I said, "Wow, that color's really close to those leaves." And so I began to fiddle, and there was an orange one over there, and I did some coloring on this scrapbook paper. And I thought, wow, that really brings the color out. And so that's where I got the idea. And then I put some, decoupage over it. But yeah. So yeah, I am excited to find out that I can use my two mediums together. Maybe not to sell in I'm still learning. And I'm having fun with it. I wanted to show you my paints and my stuff, but I've been in here long enough. I don't remember if I showed you my paints. I got some Sennelier, and I got the tubes, and I got the small pans, the half pans here. And while I was dying to order more, I have resisted the urge because they keep saying, person after person, start with a few colors. You got to learn to mix. This is my palette that I bought, and I saw a lady. She put these to make deeper wells for her mixing areas, and they are glued down with rubber cement or whatever. I've got yet to do that, so I got this in to do. You put your colors over here. So yeah, and it, you know, it closes once you do that because you have to take the bit out. But anyway, and this is a sealed palette, by the way. It keeps, you know, keeps your stuff from swishing all around. Anyway, so okay, I'm gonna let you guys go. I just want to do a quick update since I hadn't been on. This is already, oh my gosh, I've been on here too long. Thanks for stopping by and listening to me. I hope something I said is helpful, and I will try not to be so long before my next video. Have a good day.